Hello, welcome to our weekly devotions from Trinity Lutheran Church in West Bend, Wisconsin. I'm Pastor David Schoob, and we continue to look within our spiritual traditions for things that will help us as we live in a world that seems so conflicted and so divided. Today we read from the 15th chapter of Luke's Gospel, a pretty familiar story for many people. Jesus said, "There was once a man who had 2 sons. The younger said to his father, 'Father, I want right now what's coming to me.' So the father divided the property between them. It wasn't long before the younger son packed his bags and left for a distant country. There, undisciplined and dissipated, he wasted everything he had. After he had gone through all his money, there was a bad famine all through that country, and he began to feel it. He signed on with a citizen there who assigned him to his fields to slop the pigs. He was so hungry he would have eaten the corn cobs in the pig's slop, but no one would give him any. That brought him to his senses. He said, 'All those farm hands working for my father sit down to 3 meals a day, and here I am starving to death. I'm going back to my father. I'll say to him, Father, I've sinned against God. I've sinned before you. I don't deserve to be called your son. Take me on as a hired hand.' He got right up and went home to his father. When he was still a long way off, his father saw him, his heart pounding. He ran down, embraced him, and kissed him. The son started his speech, 'Father, I've sinned against God. I've sinned before you. I don't deserve to be called your son ever again.' But the father wasn't listening. He was calling to the servants, 'Quick, bring a clean set of clothes and dress him. Put the family ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Then get a prize-winning heifer and roast it. We're going to feast. We're going to have a wonderful time. My son is here, given up for dead and now alive, given up for lost and now found.' And they began to have a wonderful time. All this time, his older son was out in the field. When the day's work was done, he came in. As he approached the house, he heard the music and dancing. Calling over one of the house workers, he asked, 'What's going on?' The worker told him, 'Your brother came home. Your father has ordered a feast, barbecued beef, because he has him safe and sound.' The older brother stomped off in an angry sulk and refused to join in. His father came out and tried to talk to him, but he wouldn't listen. The son said, 'Look how many years I've stayed here serving you, never giving you one moment of grief. But have you ever thrown a party for me and my friends? Then this son of yours who has thrown away your money on whores and shows up and you go all out with a feast.' His father said, 'Son, you don't understand. You're with me all the time, and everything that is mine is yours. But this is a wonderful time, and we have to celebrate. This brother of yours was dead, and he's alive. He was lost, and he was found.'" Comparisons. We love to make comparisons. It seems like we're always making comparisons. And from these comparisons come anger and all kinds of evil into the world. Early in our ministry, we held what we called a World Hunger Banquet, and we invited a bunch of the youth group to come. We had probably about 40 people there, and we divided them into groups. There was one group we had who was just 2 people of a group of 40. They had steak and potatoes and salad and dessert and vegetables and soda and juice, all that they wanted. Then there was the second group. This was about maybe 7 of the 40, who had cheese and fruit. And we made a dish called kushari, which was Egyptian rice and lentils, and they had juice and water to drink. And then the last group of about 31 people had rice. Limited supply of rice, very little meat, some dates. All they had to drink was water. They all sat in the same room. Those in the third group looked with anger at their lot, had a certain amount of jealousy about it all. Some offered to work for group 2, being their servants if they would share just a little bit of what they had. Some in the second group offered to share with the third because they didn't like Egyptian rice and lentils anyway, and were happy to give them over to the other group. As things wore on, some jokingly in the third group said that they would go over and take the food from group one. And at the end of it all, the people in group one said, well, we have a few things left, so here you go. It was light, but there was tension in the room. Sound familiar? We didn't realize when we put this together, we were just trying to show the inequities in the world around us. But we were simulating far more than that, we suddenly realized as we did it. We talked after about how the rise of war and hatred and all manner of things arise from people seeing things and comparing their lot to someone else, and then having this perception that it's all just not fair. The Bible is rife with such stories. Cain and Abel, Joseph and his brothers, the divisions in the nation of Israel, the workers in the vineyard who all received the same wage, for some for working all day and some for only working an hour, and their anger at the abuse from those who worked the whole day. And of course, this story of the loving father that we just heard. In that story, one son wants what he thinks he deserves right now. He knows that the Jewish custom is that the older son gets the largest portion of the estate. And so he says, right now, give me half of it so I can go away before. And in essence, what he's saying to his father is, I wish you were dead so I could get my inheritance and move on. When the father offers love and compassion to that son after he returns, after losing everything, after having life turned totally against him, his older son goes off in a huff. How could you help this worthless jerk who came back to us? I'm the faithful one. I'm the one who has worked hard. He doesn't deserve anything. And so it goes. And so it goes among us, too. Measure, compare, look to establish that we are the good ones, we deserve our lot in life, and those others are not deserving. They should work harder, they should do more, and then they would have more. But are any of us more deserving of the basics of life than anyone else? Do any of us deserve love and care and compassion more than anyone else? From a Christian perspective, we all have what we have from the hands of God. It's all gift anyway. We are often born into different positions and statuses not based on our merit, but on something else. Both sons in this story only have what they have based on their birth into their father's home. So much of the division of the world is based on everyone believing that it's not fair. One country starts a war with another because that other country has what they want, and so they're going to go and take it. When maybe just building a better relationship might get them what they need. We fight about who should get what, when, and there's more than enough for everyone. We fail to really enjoy the gifts we have because we're too busy complaining about what we don't have or what someone else has. The problem is that we all have differing understandings of what is fair and what people deserve. In all the passages I mentioned, the Bible doesn't offer an answer, only a suggestion of how to think. Stop asking about what is fair and start asking about what is loving, what is compassionate, what builds relationship. Maybe we can learn from this reality how we can be in the world. Let us pray. Lord, set us free from our desire to get our share and help us consider what others might need and what we can share instead. Amen. May we all be touched by an overpowering love that is meant for all God's people. Have a good day.